So I've just had this most fantastic insight thanks to Katie Skelton, who is a sales and marketing guru who I have the privilege to know. This morning she took me and a few other people who are in my hero circle, which is like a peer group, through an exercise to really think deeply about what our ideal clients are. And the method that she uses is fantastic. She calls it the clone client method. Go and find out more about it. But the idea is to consider the people that you've enjoyed working with the most, your best clients, and then to really think, what is it about them? And I had the most amazing insights from doing it. So I thought I'd share it with you because potentially you might be thinking about coaching and you might be wondering who's the right person to work with. And obviously it's quite different. So very quickly, the main thing that I do that's of relevance here today is a thing called the Hero Program. And the idea about that is it's for people who are generally in the middle part of life. They're successful, but perhaps they've lost their way a little bit. They might have lost a bit of purpose. They might have lost themselves a little bit in the middle bit of life when, all the responsibilities and things take over. And what they want is a little bit of help to find out who they really are at this phase in their life, really know themselves, figure out what it is about life that matters to them, and then work towards that. And for some people, that's just about, dialing things in a little bit in the life they've already got. For other people, it ends up being quite a big transformative thing. So I've got all these amazing case studies of people who've done this process, and it's fantastic. And when I thought back about them, here's some things that came out. So the people that work with me, who I enjoy working with the most and who get the most out of it, they're not new to self-improvement. They're a little bit like me, they listen to the podcasts and things like that, but they don't have the time to dedicate to really understanding all the theory about personal, professional improvement and change. They can't go as deep as somebody like me can. They're not trained to think about it in that way. So they're not new to self-improvement. So they value it. They know what that's all about. The next thing is they are dedicated to the process. So these are people that know how to get stuff done. And what they need now is somebody to walk alongside them while they get the thing done, which is, how do I set myself up for the next 5 years? How do I refine what I want? Maybe have a really big project, or maybe just, get rid of a few things, and so that they can start again on the life that they've already got. This is the best bit, though. What I realize is the people that I love to work with, they are two things. They are clever and they are fun. So these are not people who take themselves too seriously. They take their activity seriously. They take what they do seriously, but themselves not so much, which means that when we have our group calls and we get to know one another, we can have a laugh. We can enjoy one another. We can really have a good time. So clever and fun, because sometimes what we do, requires a degree of earnestness. I take what I do seriously. These people take what they do seriously, but ourselves, not so much. So fun is really, really important. And the next thing was they are here for big shifts. They're not looking for a little nudge here and there. We do that kind of stuff. We talk about habits and all those kinds of things, but that's not why they're here. They're here because they've realized that they can't do whatever it is they need to do next on their own. And so 6 months of really going deep on this kind of stuff with support, with expert help, with other people that are going to help them and, metaphorically slap them on the shoulder and enjoy the process with them. That's what they want. So they're here for big shifts. And a lot of them, they're here for massive life goals. Maybe what happened is that they set themselves a goal when they were 16 or 18 and they wanted to study a certain thing. That set them off on a trajectory. And then they're in the middle part of life. They have all sorts of things that they know how to do, things that they've achieved, things that they can leverage. They know a lot about themselves. What they haven't done is kind of rethink, well, who am I now and what do I want to do next? So they want to do that in a big way. This is massive. And then the final bit, this is really, really interesting. Because obviously there's different types of coaching, but the sort of people that I work with, they don't need money. Money is not the goal. These people, they know how to make a living. If they wanted to, they could earn more money, but that's not the point. They're not here for this reason. And that's why it works so well. So I just want to say big shout out to Katie Skelton, because she's really helped me with this. It's fantastic. And I will drop a comment where I can underneath these lives so you can find her as well. But also, really think about this. If you're considering getting a coach, they all have different attributes. They do different things, and they are right for different people. And any decent coach, if you approach them and they think they're not quite right for you, they will help you. They'll refer you on to somebody else. So for me, for example, just look at my things. If you were here purely, if you wanted a Ferrari in Dubai, right? Clearly, I'm not the guy for you. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I'm not that kind of coach. I'm much more about helping people to really, set themselves on fire with a rounded life of purpose and meaning, where they build on what they've already achieved and set themselves up for the next 5 years. Right, that's it. First time I've ever done a live like this, in this way, with zero preparation. If you liked it, let me know what you think. That'd be really cool. Hope you have a wonderful day. Here's my newsletter. It's on the screen. I share all kinds of tips regularly on there. So give me a follow, give me a like, give me a share, tell your friends, whatever it is that the Instagrammy people do. Okay? Have a great day. Bye-bye.